Hi, I'm Tammy Fontana with All in the Family Counselling Centre Pte. Limited. I'm talking today about the misuse or misconceptualization of low sex drive and high sex drive. A lot of people, when they're with a partner who doesn't, where you guys are not able to agree on how frequent to have sex, people often digress and start to conceptualize this as one person has high sex drive and low sex drive. They have a sex drive problem. And the problem with conceptualizing your sexual incompatibility or your inability to work out your differences is it really frames and limits your conversation in a way that will create hostility and antagonism and push you apart. And this is something that I help many couples work through as a sex therapist and a marriage and family therapist, is learning how to work through and navigate the differences in sex drives, and as well as factors that influence your desire to have sex. And what happens is a lot of times when we frame things as low sex drive, high sex drive, there's this weird dynamic, and it's different for everybody, and that's part of therapy, is I have to figure out what are the nuances going on with people when they frame it to me, because they'll usually come in to me and say, oh, we have a low sex drive, high sex drive problem. Most people aren't able to accurately identify their problems. And the reason why one of this is a problem is the person who wants sex somehow gets to wear the mantle of I have a high sex drive, and the person who doesn't want to have sex gets labeled like low sex drive, and they get framed as the problem. Sometimes it can be the high sex drive person is the problem because somehow they have two sex drive. And this is not a helpful way of framing it, like as though one person is broken, because it's implying as though there is some standard out there, that some regulating authority body that goes around telling people the appropriate sex drive. There's not. Just like there's nobody that tells you if you're a high spender versus a low spender. High spender is relative to how much money you make. If I make $1 million a month and I'm spending $20,000 a month, I don't know that I'm a high spender because that's only 20% of my income. But if I'm spending $20,000 a month and I make $10,000 a month, then I'm overspending. So everything's relative. Same thing in sex. I can have one person who wants to have sex twice a day, and they're with somebody who wants to have sex once a day. So the once a day person is now a low sex drive person relative to the high sex drive person. And the problem with all of these conceptualizations and these ideas is that it stops intimacy, and it pits us against each other and makes it antagonistic. Like, you have something that is mine and you're not giving it to me, and the other person's like, I'm not trying to hold it against you. It creates all sorts of communication problems. And a lot of this has to do with ideas people have about sex, ideas about sexuality, ideas about sex drives. And these are the things we're often helping people to address in therapy, is cleaning up their ideas. The other thing that it gets away from is addressing issues in the relationship. Sometimes, and quite often actually, a person who has low sex drive or becomes low sex drive after the birth of a child or a new job, is they will blame it on the child. But what usually happens is relationship issues evolve, and that since the birth of our child, you are disappointing me, you've hurt me, you haven't stepped up the way you did, you haven't been following through on the promises you made, and now I'm hurt, I'm disappointed, and I don't want to have sex with you. But I don't know how to talk to you or get you to see the connection between your lack of help and support at home and how that affects my desire to have sex with you. So it's not a low sex desire issue. The low sex desire comes out of your behavior. Or it could be a hygiene issue, or it could be the way you handle anger, or it could be the way you're too rough. All of these things are affecting me. So things in the relationship are affecting my desire to have sex with you. So low sex drive or low desire is not the problem. It's a consequence of how you're treating me in the relationship, or how you're holding up your end of agreements that we're supposed to have. Or perhaps you've even hurt me or betrayed me by not keeping your word. So all of these things add to a layer of complication, and that when people frame things as low sex drive, high sex drive, it completely frames away a conversation to have a deep and meaningful conversation that people are either afraid to have, they don't know how to have, or they can't handle the feelings that come with it. And these are all the things that I help people work through in therapy so that they can work out the agreements and create a rich and fulfilling and emotionally connecting relationship with a rich and emotionally connecting sex life. So if you'd like to learn more how I can help you, please contact me through the information in the link below. Thank you.